Good morning, everyone, and thank you. Thank you for coming today. My name is Lara Sruckman, and I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my authentic identity. In a world of extremes, it is often difficult to find a middle way. Pick a side, they say, join a team. There's no such thing as just being in the middle. But often, the middle is right where we land. Without knowing it, we are living the life of the Buddha, charting our middle course in the sea of uncertainty and polarity. Throughout my short 19 years, I have found myself again and again in the middle without knowing how I got there, but one way or another, learning to navigate these new waters with some sort of goofy grace. Those who know me well will vouch to say that I'm usually a positive person and always looking for the bright side. However, I would be remiss to talk about who I am in this place of light, love, and joy without first reflecting on the struggles that have led me here. From a very young age, I was placed in the middle of my family. Even though I was the youngest member, at the tender age of 7, I felt the need to be the glue, to be pushed and pulled in every direction, mediating every fight and trying to see all sides. There was no consistency growing up and no structure. One extreme was met with another. In hindsight, this gave me a good sense of humor and a slightly cynical appreciation for irony. I learned a lot from my family growing up, but not the usual morals, values, and relationship skills you might guess. Instead, I learned how to argue well. My friends can attest to that too. I learned that blood does not equal family, that I must find my own way, and most importantly, that nothing lasts forever. I learned that last bit the hard way, watching my childhood, my family, and soon myself crumble into a heap of broken pieces, regardless of how tightly I gripped. There was a time I chronically found myself in a state of unhappiness, in pain, and in confusion. It wasn't Buddhism per se that helped me out of this cycle, but a process I feel aligns with that path. I didn't know much about Buddhism at the time, and honestly, I can't say I know very much now. But I decided one day that I was going to make a concerted effort to no longer be ruled by sadness, and that I would work at being happy. While the choice is really that simple, it was by no means easy. I had found myself blaming external factors for my own happiness, completely helpless to my situation, until I turned to meditation. When I was 13, I learned how I meditate. This changed everything. I could use it to gauge where I was with things, to give to others, and express gratitude. It gave me purpose and agency. Slowly and drudgingly at times, I realized that it was not my reality and external environment that was causing me so much suffering, but the way I was responding to it. That was a tough pill to swallow. No one wants to realize that they're the problem. It's so much easier just to blame someone or something else. When I realized I was in control, it was terrifying, because that meant not only could I do something about my situation, but I had to. So I never stopped learning. For years, and still to this day, I became my own project. I am my life's work. I realized the beauty in life is that there is variation. I began to value all of my experiences, the good and the bad. I found it comforting that nothing bad lasts forever, and learned to accept that nothing good lasts forever either. Then, I began to stop categorizing things into this good and bad, and to just see the value in them as pieces of this jigsaw puzzle we call being human. I wanted to experience it all: pain, heartbreak, shame, love, joy, and bliss. I saw them all as opportunities to grow and to therefore give me greater understanding of the condition of not only myself, but of the world and those I may come into contact with. I resonate deeply with the idea that everything happens for a reason, because every experience has layered to create exactly who I am. But consequently, I am also not defined by those experiences, and in every moment I have the opportunity to choose how I wish to interact with the world, both through my presence and through my actions. To quote Rumi, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. It's funny, often when writing about meditation, I commit the error of leaving out the first T, resulting in the word mediation. However, this may be a Freudian slip of the pen because that is exactly what meditation is. It creates space. It opens the doors that we wish to keep shut in our mental house and reveals hidden gardens where insight can blossom. It has become my own personal mediator, ironically taking the place in the middle between myself and my world. While meditation is my mediation, it is also my medication, providing the healing I so desperately needed. Throughout this voyage, I have learned to reconcile old hurts and recognize the seeds that have bloomed in their place. For I am wholly me. I am not what has happened to me, but what I have done with the opportunities for growth I have faced. At no point have I confronted my relationship with meditation so overtly than at a 4-day Zen Buddhist silent retreat last year. As a true introvert, I have always appreciated silence. And as a yoga teacher, I can tell you that just on the edge of our comfort zone is often where the growth happens. However, being silent on a Buddhist retreat with people I barely knew my first year of college seemed like a disservice. That it would only hinder what could become amazing friendships and connections. However, once I got over and accepted that loss, I realized the silence was transformative. I realized this experience was not about making friends. It was about looking inward, being a mirror for myself, and allowing the change to happen moment by moment without the distraction of words. Despite this constructed compilation of words I'm rambling through right now, I usually tend to get caught in the weeds of discussion and conversation. I am so fascinated by language that I overanalyze meaning and misconvey my own thoughts and feelings. I don't think in words, but in experiences and sensations. I can never quite remember what someone says, but I can always remember how I felt. On that note, I like to say that I'm kinesthetically expressive. The best way I feel I can express myself is through movement. That's why I'm so fascinated with the body. Fitness, yoga, body language. Even just talking with my hands feels more real to me than writing this speech did. And let me tell you, by day 2 of nearly 8 hours a day of silent sitting, standing, and walking meditation, my body was talking to me. During the last sit of day 2, my body was aching from maintaining the cross-legged position on the floor, and my mind was screaming from being so deeply engrossed in my body, the space around me and my place in it. As a very determined and self-disciplined person, it took a lot for me to even consider breaking this vow of silent stillness. But the inner and physical turmoil was quite strong. My belief in why I was there was wavering, and just a moment before I was about to fling myself to the floor in an act of rebellion, the bell chimed with its sweet indifference, marking the end of the session. This moment of sheer relief and joy at being done, of overcoming the pain of meditation, is indicative to how I approach life. I find that it often takes finding your edge to reach a place of growth. I look to life not as a challenge to beat, but as an inner process to lean into. Just like in yoga, I find myself not rushing to master a pose or speed through a sequence, but to hold postures for longer periods of time, to settle in, surrender to the wisdom of my own body, and to open up in time, to find the edge on the precipice of pain and be acquainted with it, so I know where the work can be done and the transformation can occur. This is the most therapeutic and meditative for me. Needless to say, after getting over that hump and savoring the experience of meeting my breaking point and accepting it was truly powerful and set the tone for the rest of the retreat. That being said, despite my initial qualms of missing out on friendships, I found that by sidestepping the small talk, the connections I made were deeper and more authentic in those 4 days than some I have had with people I've known for years. It's amazing how humans can bond without words. We think it's impossible, but without that surface-level distraction, we're really pretty good at reading other people and picking up on their struggles and their quirks without them even saying a word. No, I didn't know their favorite movie or about their family vacations, but I knew their true demeanor. their triumph in the face of adversity, their coping mechanisms, their creativity, and felt their true love and support whether they realized it or not. This just goes to show the most meaningful interactions are often the ones without words, like receiving a warm hug when you need it the most, getting a friendly wave from someone you don't know, or the innocent way a baby holds your finger while they lull into sleep. To be honest, I don't think I would have made it through that silent retreat, though, if we weren't allowed to journal. As much as I struggle with spoken word, I have always had an affinity for writing. I love the way that letters look on paper or in print. There is something comforting about the order and the structure of words that can be changed and translated and morphed to create new meaning. Around the time that I started meditating, I started journaling. I had different journals for different purposes and different subjects of my life. And you better believe that I had one specially picked out for my study of Zen Buddhism, and especially for this retreat. I wrote down all of my insights and koans and quotes I read, that I liked, and my responses to them. I wrote about the trials and triumphs of our meditations and about the wisdom and advice from our Zen master Sandy. I cherished all of these experiences and words. However, in the ironic humor that dominates not only life but Zen, I lost that journal. Never to be seen again, I never picked it up. There have been many a time since then I wished I could go back and read through that journal, including while writing this, and clearly have not been able to. This exemplifies beautifully, again, that nothing lasts forever. All things are transitory, and we mustn't be too attached. These ideas take time, though, and not without resistance. I am still learning, and I'm still finding my way through this sometimes foggy, wavy, blurry middle path I have found for myself. I am gentle with myself, though, and I trust that the path is there, even when I can't see it. I know that I, myself, and my whole self as myself, will find my way and end up where that journal has, exactly where I'm meant to. Even now, as my craving for change continues, I am satisfied by taking joy in the little things of life, and the feeling of the changing seasons, the change in hunger as the clock ticks on, the change in the shining of the sun. I feel this need within me to leave this place, to experience something else, but for now, I will continue and sit and be an observer of my circumstance. For I have the faith in myself and in the universe to deliver me to my highest good and to chip away at the societal shell in order to reveal what I guess one would say is my authentic identity. Thank you.